إلهي يا إلهي إن أكن أخطأت أو جاوزت قدري فاعف عن ذنبي واغفر لي خطيئاتي ووزري واهدني للنور واشرح بالهدى والحق صدري يا إلهي
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين ومن اتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. وأسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يرزقنا حسن النية وحسن الختام. The author of this book is the Chief Judge Nuruddin Abu Thana Mahmud ibn Ahmad ibn Muhammad al-Hamadani al-Fayyumi. His father was born in Fayyum in Ash-Sham and was known as Ibn al-Zahir. His father is Ahmad ibn Muhammad al-Hamadani al-Fayyumi. He worked and excelled in Arabic under Abu Hayyan al-Andalusi, then moved to Hama and settled there. He became the preacher of Dahshah in Hama and was a virtuous scholar, knowledgeable in Fiqh and the Arabic language. He is the author of al-Misbah al-Munir fi Gharib al-Sharh al-Kabir, which is a beneficial book that our Shaykh al-Abdari, may Allah have mercy upon him, encouraged us to study. He also authored Sharh Arud Ibn al-Hajib and has a collection of sermons and other works. He died in the year 770 something. Because his father was the Khaṭib of ad-Dahshah, his son Mahmud was known as Ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah. Al-Imām Abu Hayyan al-Andalusi, he was known as Kathiruddin Abu Hayyan. His name was Muhammad ibn Yusuf ibn Ali ibn Yusuf ibn Hayyan al-Gharnati al-Andalusi al-Jayyani al-Nifzi. He was the linguist of his era. It's grammarian, it's lexicographer, mufassir, explainer of the Quran, historian, and a man of letters. He was born in Mukhtasar, one of the regions of Granada. He moved to Malaga and traveled until he settled in Cairo. He learned the Quranic recitations from Abu Ja'far Ibn Tabbaa and Arabic from Abu Ja'far Ibn Zubayr, Ibn Sa'igh, Abu Ja'far al-Labli, and others. And in Egypt, he learned from al-Baha Ibn al-Nahas, among others. Abu Hayyan excelled in grammar and taught during the lifetimes of his sheikhs in Morocco. He devoted himself to seeking hadith and heard from about 450 sheikhs of Andalusia, Africa, Alexandria, Egypt, and the Hijaz. Many notable scholars granted him ijazah, including ad-Dimyati, Ibn Daqiq al-Eid, and Abu al-Yaman Ibn Asakir. The greatest scholars of his time learned from him, such as At-Taqi, al-Subki, and his sons, al-Jamal al-Isnawiyy, al-Samin, al-Halabi, and al-Safaqasi, among others. As-Safadi said, I never saw him except listening, working, writing, or looking into a book. He died in Cairo in the year 745 after al-Hijrah. Ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah was born around the year 750 after al-Hijrah in Hama, Syria, and grew up there, studying under its scholars. He memorized the noble Quran and numerous texts. He traveled to Egypt and the Levant, learning from its scholars, and listened to Qasim al-Sarkhadi al-Darir in Egypt. He heard the entire Sahih al-Bukhari from al-Hajjar and from Qadi Shihabuddin al-Mardawi Sahih Muslim, and from al-Kamal al-Ma'arri Thulathiyat al-Bukhari, and other than that. He had a great capacity for recollection and excelled in Shafi'i Fiqh, Arabic, Usul al-Fiqh, fundamentals of jurisprudence, and the Arabic language. He issued fatwas and taught, along with having firm faith and scrupulous piety. Qadi Nasiruddin Ibn al-Barizi, the Secretary of State in the Egyptian lands, praised him. Al-Malik al-Mu'ayyad appointed him as the Chief Judge of Hama at the beginning of his rule. He carried out his duties excellently, with diligence and integrity for a period. Then he was dismissed in the early 826 after al-Hijrah, during the reign of al-Ashraf. So he stayed at home, devoting himself to teaching, issuing fatwas, and authoring works. The people of his town benefited from him. His reputation spread, and his status became great. Hafiz ibn Hajar al-Asqalani said in al-Anba, he attained the leadership of the madhab, meaning the Shafi'i madhab, in Hama, along with piety, extreme humility, chastity, and devotion to study, work, authorship, and participation in literature and other fields, as well as having good handwriting. Ibn Qadi Shuhba said that he was uniquely in charge of the leadership of Hama for a period after the death of his companion al-Jamal ibn Khatib an-Nasiriyya, with asceticism and austerity. Similarly, al-Jamal ibn Khatib an-Nasiriyya praised him in ad-Durr al-Muntakhab and At-Taqi ibn Fahd in his lexicon of his shaykhs, and the Hafiz in his lexicon, along with others. As Zayn Abdul Rahim ibn Abi Bakr al-Hamawi al-Shafi'i read on him the book al-Minhaj, and Faraj ibn Muhammad his poem on writing, and Shamsuddin Muhammad ibn Ibrahim al-Bayyani al-Shafi'i, known as Ibn Furayjan, studied Sahih al-Bukhari under him and wrote his commentary on al-Minhaj called Lubabul Qut. And Shamsuddin Muhammad ibn Salih al-Shafi'i, grandson of al-Jamal, Khaṭib Mansuriyya, studied under him, and Shamsuddin Muhammad ibn Abdullah al-Balatunsi al-Dimashqi al-Shafi'i also studied under him and learned from him. Al-Balatunsi, named after Balatuns near Latakia, he then moved to Damascus. He is a Shafi'i and a Sufi. He studied the Quran in his hometown under a group of scholars, including Umar ibn al-Fakhr al-Maghribi. He left his hometown in pursuit of knowledge and studied jurisprudence in Tripoli under Ash-Shams ibn Zuhra, and in Hama under Nuruddin ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah, and in Damascus under At-Taqi ibn Qadi Shuhba. He also learned the fundamentals from the latter, as well as Arabic from the first two, and from a group of scholars in Tripoli. He studied hadith there and read on Hafiz al-Ala al-Bukhari and others. He left his country due to an incident where he commanded the good and forbade the evil, and he settled in Damascus until he died. He was devoted to worship, being detached from the worldly matters. He was eager to command good and forbid evil, to the extent that he would openly speak the truth and confront kings, deputies, emirs, and tyrants. His status was elevated, his intercession was accepted, and people with needs sought him out. He did not fail to help those in distress and honor strangers, especially the people of the two holy mosques in Mecca and Medina. He devoted himself to teaching and issuing fatwas, and many people learned from him. Even his Shaykh At-Taqi ibn Shuhba, his son al-Badr, and At-Taqi al-Adra'i attended his classes. He was offered the position of judge in Damascus but refused. He used to condemn what was attributed to Ibn Arabi of corruption in al-Futuhat and other works. And he would frequently criticize, like his Shaykh al-Ala al-Bukhari, Ahmad ibn Taymiyyah. He would frequently criticize Ibn Taymiyyah, just as his Shaykh would frequently criticize Ibn Taymiyyah. He wrote a commentary on Minhaj al-Abidin by al-Ghazali in 2 volumes, small and large, and has other works. Hafiz as-Sakhawi said he has pleasant fatwas and incidents that would take long to explain. He performed Hajj in 861 after al-Hijrah, sought to stay in al-Medina, but what he was experiencing internally prevented him. He returned to Damascus and soon died after his return in 863 after al-Hijrah. He was buried the next day. It was said that such a funeral had not been seen in Damascus in that century. His bier was carried on fingertips, and people grieved greatly for him. Among those who studied under Ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah was al-Muhib Abu al-Fadl Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Mahmud, known like his predecessors as Ibn al-Shihna al-Hanafi. Ibn al-Shihna al-Hanafi. Also the hadith scholar of Damascus, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, known as Ibn Nasir ad-Din, studied under him. Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, Abdullah ibn Muhammad ibn Ahmad ibn Mujahid, al-Qaysi al-Dimashqi al-Shafi'i, who was called Abu Abdullah, his kunya, and was titled Shamsuddin, famous by Ibn Nasir ad-Din al-Hafiz. He was a Hafiz of hadith and a historian. Ibn Hajar described him as the muhaddith of the Levant in his time. He has works in hadith sciences and a book on the Prophet's birth. But he disgraced himself with his book, The Ample Refutation of Those Who Claim that Whoever Calls Ibn Taymiyyah the Shaykh of Islam is a kafir. This book is in support of Ahmad ibn Taymiyyah, and it is a refutation of al-Ala al-Bukhari for his declaration of disbelief against those who call Ibn Taymiyyah Shaykhul Islam. There is no doubt that the scholars' use of this title for Ibn Taymiyyah is unacceptable. There is no doubt. Many scholars did not know of Ibn Taymiyyah's anomalies, his perversions, or the issues in which he opposed the Ummah. Perhaps Alauddin al-Bukhari meant this when he said this, knowing of his statements. And this is the assumption, meaning perhaps what Alauddin al-Bukhari meant when he charged blasphemy those who said that Ibn Taymiyyah is Shaykh al-Islam. He said such a person is a kafir. Perhaps, and this is our assumption, that this is what he meant. Those who know about the positions of disbelief and misguidance of Ibn Taymiyyah, and despite that, they call him the Shaykh of Islam. However, the generalization is not in its proper place. This is why some scholars expanded the field for Ibn Nasir to refute them despite their innocence from beliefs like those of Ibn Taymiyyah, either because they disliked the generalization or because those statements were not proven from Ibn Taymiyyah for them. Most of those from whom Ibn Nasir transmits praise of Ibn Taymiyyah in his book are from the second category, those who praised him without his statements being clear to them or before they became clear to them, as is the case of Abu Hayyan. Moreover, Ibn Nasir ad-Din included in his book what is not appropriate to include. He is also not from the people of these paths, and the fundamentals and the sciences of jurisprudence are not his specialty. In addition to that, he himself is accused of inclining towards Ibn Taymiyyah's sayings. That is why Taqiyuddin al-Hisni, may Allah have mercy on him, lowered his status because he accused him of believing in Ibn Taymiyyah's perverted statements, as mentioned in al-Hisni's biography in al-Dawh al-Lami'. Also, for this reason, the Shaykh of the Levant at that time, Shamsuddin al-Balatunsi, whose biography we previously mentioned, refrained from narrating from Ibn Nasir ad-Din when he authored his book. And Ibn Nasir ad-Din, he died in the year 842 after al-Hijrah. Also, among those who studied under Ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah is Khaṭib Qara Abdul Karim ibn Muhammad al-Qari al-Shafi'i. He read all of Sahih al-Bukhari and others on him. There's also Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Mahmud al-Hanafi, known like his predecessors as Ibn Sabiq. He took from Ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah grammar and other subjects from the fields of the Arabic language. And Muhammad ibn Hibatillah al-Hamawi al-Shafi'i, known like his predecessors as Ibn al-Barizi, he heard hadith and studied under him as well. Al-Imām al-Muhib al-Tabari, Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Ahmad ibn Ibrahim al-Makki al-Shafi'i, he met him. And Abu al-Qasim Umar ibn Muhammad al-Makki al-Shafi'i, known like his predecessors as Ibn Fahd. Among his works on jurisprudence is Lubab al-Qut, which is an abridgment of Qut al-Muhtaj by al-Adhra'i in 4 volumes, and is called Ighatha al-Muhtaj ila Sharh al-Minhaj and Takmila Sharh al-Subki, which is in 3 volumes, and al-Yawaqit al-Mudiyya fil Mawaqit al-Shar'iyya. Among his works on jurisprudence are Lubab al-Qut, which is an abridgment of Qut al-Muhtaj by al-Adhra'i in 4 volumes, and is called Ighatha al-Muhtaj ila Sharh al-Minhaj. Also, Takmila Sharh al-Subki. Subki here, as-Subki here, refers to Abu al-Hasan Ali ibn Abd al-Kafi ibn Ali ibn Tamam, the Chief Judge, Hafiz, the erudite scholar of the Levantian and Egyptian lands, Taqiyuddin as-Subki al-Misri al-Shafi'i. This great scholar, he heard hadith in Asham, Cairo, Alexandria, and other places. He was of sound mind, firm in religion, of good character, with a long reach in debate, strong in argument, of sound opinion, and pleasant in writing. He refuted Ahmed ibn Taymiyyah on the issue of visiting the Prophet's grave, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and on his statement about the occurrences of events in Allah's being, that is his reality. May Allah be exalted and glorified. And on his statement, that is Ibn Taymiyyah's statement, about the eternality of the world with Allah, and on his statement that triple divorce in one instance counts as a single divorce, and on other matters in which he opposed the religion and broke the consensus. So he excelled, and his writings were well received. He has a commentary on al-Minhaj al-Usuli and the completion of al-Majmu' by an-Nawawiyy, which he did not complete, and a large collection of fatwas, and many other works and treatises on jurisprudence, jurisprudence fundamentals, hadith, grammar, explanation of the Quran, and the Arabic language. As-Subki said that he had mastered 7 sciences, meaning he had reached the highest level of proficiency. He was gentle, humble, and compassionate towards students, strict in manners of health, devoted to worship, and the people of his time agreed on his virtue and knowledge. The Chief Judge As-Subki, he died in the year 756 after al-Hijrah in Cairo. May Allah the Exalted have mercy on him. Ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah also authored al-Yawaqit al-Mudiyya fil Mawaqit al-Shar'iyya. In the Arabic language, he authored the book Tuhfa ذوي الأرب on ambiguities, and an explanation of Alfiya ibn Malik. Alfiya ibn Malik was authored by the great scholar Jamaluddin Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Abdullah al-Ta'i al-Jayyani al-Shafi'i, who settled in Damascus and was famous by Ibn Malik. He was a preserver of the Arabic language. He heard hadith in Damascus from al-Sakhawi, al-Hasan ibn al-Sabbah, and a group of scholars. He took the Arabic language from more than one scholar, and he attended the lessons of Ibn Amrun and others in Halab. He devoted himself to teaching Arabic there and focused his efforts on mastering the Arabic language until he achieved his goal and surpassed many of his predecessors in knowledge and understanding of its particularities and rarities. He was an Imām in the Quranic recitations and was skilled in grammar. He had extensive knowledge of hadith. He authored the famous Alfiya in grammar, as well as other books. And he was not satisfied with az-Zamakhshari and used to say that he was a small grammarian. He died in the year 672 after al-Hijrah. Ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah also authored the refinement of Matali' al-Anwar ala Sihah al-Athar by Abu Ishaq al-Qurqul on the language used in the two books of Sahih, and al-Muwatta in 6 volumes called Tahdhib al-Matali' li Targhib al-Mutali', and he abridged it in 2 parts and called it At-Takrur fi ilm al-Gharib. He also has a book entitled Tahrir al-Hashiyah fi Sharh al-Kafiyah, and in the art of writing a poem and its explanation, and in the fundamentals of Fiqh, Mukhtasar, Qawa'id, al-Ala'i, wa Kalam al-Isnawiyy, and other works. He also has poetry, and there was correspondence in verse between him and Badruddin ibn Qadi Azra'at. Among those who wrote about his poetry are Al-Jamal ibn Musa al-Marakushi and al-Muwaffaq al-Ibbi. Ibn Khatib ad-Dahshah died in Hama on Thursday, the 17th of Shawwal, in the year 834 or 835 after al-Hijrah. His funeral was well attended, and there was great sorrow for him. It is said that when death approached him, he smiled and then recited, لِمِثْلِ هَذَا فَلْيَعْمَلِ الْعَامِلُونَ, which means, for the likes of this, let the workers work. May Allah, the Exalted, have mercy on him.
يا إلهي إن أكن أخطأت أو جاوزت قدري فاعف عن ذنبي واغفر لي خطيئاتي ووزري واهدني للنور واشرح بالهدى والحق صدري يا إلهي نجني اللهم يا مولاي من أهواء نفسي نجني اللهم يا مولاي من أهواء نفسي، لا تدعني غارقا في بحر أوهامي ويأسي، وامح ما قدمت أو أخرت في يومي وأمسي،
واهدني للنور واشرح بالهدى والحق صدري يا إله